Good morning, beautiful. I hope that this finds you well rested and ready to begin your day. This is your daily tarot and oracle, your daily insight on life and love for April 8th, 2022. Also being timeless, so wherever you're catching it in time, it might be relevant or horribly irrelevant somewhere on the spectrum. I'm not even quite sure. Anyway, this is a general and collective reading. Don't force this to fit your life. You can always throw this away, or you can watch, laugh, I don't know. It looks like there is a challenge that you are overcoming. So we're going to get the why and the what you have to look forward to because of it, why this has to happen now. So, all right, if you do have questions about booking a private session, go ahead to the main page, go into the description and find all the ways of contact. You can find me on any social platform. My new IG is now becoming my only IG because I haven't been able to get the hacked account back after 2 months. So there it is. Any way to contact me on a social platform is at Raising Savek. No underscores, no periods, no numbers, no punctuation, one word, at Raising Savek. Again, you can also go to the email. So what I'm seeing right here is a major issue with confronting something from your past, and this has been the very thing that you need to confront right now. It's your hurdle, and this is what's preventing you from making the steps that you want to make in your life. That's exhausting. It's exasperating. And well, you don't need to be stuck there. I want to get more about the why behind it. I have a plethora of cards in front of me, but it's running so deep with you. This is absolutely, without question, part of your programming. It's dealing with an issue and confronting somebody who you feel is in any way, shape, or form intimidating you. This could be even a situation, but I want you to know it's not the actual person or the actual situation, it's what it represents in your life. So it's not even current. I promise you this is something from the past. It's being brought up now. So what is this all about? Okay. All right. A lot of sword energy around this. So I feel like the Queen of Swords is all about honest integrity, boundaries, watching somebody's actions, keeping a safe distance. And it feels like there's nobody talking. It's like somebody feels like they don't exist. So this is confronting a situation that is familiar to a past event where you feel like you don't exist. Now, again, this could be a personal communication that's going on, or this is an actual life situation that is not involving a person. But I really feel like this is probably involving personal connections in your life. Normally, this would be the King of Swords, but there is a major hesitance right now. There's nothing more that could be said or done. I feel like you're constantly working on yourself, and actually that's been a theme. And I'm seeing it right here too. So you are fully aware of your empowerment, of your abilities, of you constantly having to work on yourself because this is normal. But what this is talking about is you feel like no matter what you do, somebody is not going to validate your work or who you are, and you're just invisible to them. So them not seeing you somehow is going to stop your progress. Somebody in your life, whether it's literal or figurative, holds all the cards of what you are actually able to do. I feel like it's more of a figurative ability rather than the actuality. But the confrontation of this, absolutely dreadful for you. I do see that it is going to be a compromise and you finally being listened to, but to get to that bridge, to make that connection towards what this is, it's going to take some work. So before I look at the work, let's actually look at this. This person in your life, major intimidation all around you. It could be somebody who's probably in their toxic masculine. And this could be a very domineering, terrifying even, I want to say female figure, but there's a lot of masculinity around this. So it feels like toxic masculinity. I really want to stay away from the gender of this, but I can't help but feeling what I was feeling with this. So I kind of got to say it, because even if it's not perfect, it's got to be real. So let's look. You feel so invisible to this person. And I think that you have fought really hard not to have this hold you back. And the thing is, this person sees you so well. This person sees how you grow. They see how you've made your choices in life. This is going to be a conflict that comes to an end, because there's some ghost shadows that are coming in about this person and who they were. But who they are in your world now, absolutely different. I do see balance being restored to you in here, so you can move forward. This is going to help you get through your hurdle. Now, for some of you, this is still going to lead to a disappointment from whoever this is. This isn't, you being forced to actually having to physically confront this person. I'm not saying that you have to write that letter. You're not going to have to meet up with them for lunch if you really don't want to, because let's face it, some people have either crossed over, they're the same toxic POS that they were, or, it's just you guys don't have a relationship, and some people just do not want to reach out. So the whole confronting this, if you aren't going to be connecting with them, which again, fine, it's really about visualizing this person in front of you and the effect that they have had in your life, and seeing who they are showing up as in your current situation, whether it's a personal connection or a life situation. But seeing them where they were and how it affects the now, and how different you are as a person, and how that person from the past actually holds no grounds to whatever this is. So in doing that and seeing them in the current situation and not having to have the same effect, how are you going to disconnect that? And this is kind of what we're going to look at. And then we're going to look at, oh wait, I think that this might be the actual bridge part. Okay, so what is the bridge part? How are you going to, take this person off of that tier of effectiveness in your life? Because I know that you tried to, really overcompensate for how this person made you feel, whether it was inferior or weak or whatever the case, or like you would be, whatever it is, fill in the blank. So, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Sorry, Andre 3000. Wait, is it Andre? Yeah, Andre 3000 moment. Okay, so what do you desire? Do you want to be under this person's rule? Do you want them to continuously lead your life by either fear or intimidation? Do you want this person to be the thing that you have to avoid at all costs? No. So this is saying you want happiness, you want joy. You have to be honest with yourself that there might be a potential that even though this person is not an active effectiveness, and oh God, I hope that they're still not an active effectiveness in your life, what about you still feels locked in at that time where that person's going to take away your power? I feel like an aspect of them made you their personal assistant. And I'm trying to put that in the nicest terms possible, because, I kind of want to say they made you their personal and you're not. This was probably a while back, and it still feels like I do not want to be under someone's rule or power like this. I don't want somebody to be like, okay, if you do this, then you'll do this, and then just rip it away. So time out. You were so busy catering to whatever that fear was at that stage of life. Part of you is still there and taking care of that person. And if you look hard enough, you may still see how that is a theme in your life and geared towards that. So communication, I honestly feel like if you have somehow stumbled across this, if you're watching this, it was a point of you being forced to shut up, forced to not talk, nobody wants to hear it. So you had to prove your point in other ways. You had to prove your worth in other ways. And, well, this is, let yourself be honest that you are still locked into those ages, those stages, and that person being the epicenter of all of it. So, my dear, how are we going to remedy this? Unconditional. Okay, not helpful, Spirit. We're looking at what's healing, and you say unconditional joy, sobriety. Okay, getting a little bit better vibe of this. Children and improving health. I want to look into what this person was dealing with because it's saying children. That person was dealing with a lot of empty promises of their own, and a lot of their empty promises and fulfillments to you were riding on those empty promises. It was part of their own programming. So they're ruling over you, and that need to control, believe it or not, it was coming from a very wounded and inferior place. Not that they were actually inferior, it actually feels like they feel that they were inferior. So it's that hurt people hurting people type deal coming up. They were very insecure, and it feels like they dealt with a lot of sense of having their sense of safety and security completely rocked. A lot of disheartenment going on. You know, George Carlin said, and I think it's pretty famously said, an idealist, a cynic is just a disappointed idealist. I think that's what they were. I do feel like at a point in their life, they were this beautiful, idealistic person who had the world right in front of their eyes. And enough disappointments, enough backhandedness of life, they became cynics who didn't want to see anyone else being controlled and didn't want to see anyone else move beyond them because they were coming from a wounded place. They wanted somebody else to feel their pain. And that's no excuse for what happened to you, no excuse for how you were treated. It's just, this is talking about that and being what happened. So this, realizing that they were an incredibly wounded person and that they actually really tried to get some sense of control by somehow controlling you or doing whatever it was that they did. And again, I'm not making excuses for them, not condoning behavior. Seeing them through that eye that's not wounded anymore, you not being in the active wound of it, you seeing them clearly for that lost soul that they were, it's actually going to be able to free you up then, because that person wasn't working with guidance. You took this another way, unlike them. You aren't hurting anybody with this. Well, okay, let me retract that statement. You're human, you're going to screw up. You are not the active pursuer of hurting people like this person was. And this, again, for them was coming from a wounded place. You have either a choice to continue a cycle or break a cycle. That person continued a cycle. You are self-aware enough to see the crap for what it is and break that cycle. So that's what this is talking about. You are going to break the cycle because of what happened to you. And that person couldn't break a cycle because of what happened to them. You're not going to live in the victim mentality anymore. Seeing them for the inability to move on the way that you could, I think it's going to be enough for you to be like, all right, now it's time to stop being in that scared mindset, that scared outlook. You've done enough work on the outside to have this follow through. You've had enough self-awareness. It was this little nugget inside of you that you stood guard of, protecting that little bit of fear. And so everything else is done. It's not about you and all the improvement that you could do at this point in time, because we're all at a point of self-improvement and we're constantly evolving. It's seeing that this fear doesn't need to be the thing that holds you back, and that you aren't there anymore. And that person isn't going to be there to hurt you. They're off doing their own thing. I think that it's also taking that wounded victim aspect of you and telling them that it's safe and okay to come out and nobody's going to hurt them. That you, in your phase that you're in right now, are there to protect that wounded aspect of yourself and give them a sense of freedom that they can come out of that cage that you put them in to protect them. So that's giving them a sense of sobriety, unconditional joy, and that alone is going to probably alleviate your stress about the situation. So, while that's nice and dandy, what's the healing going to look like for you? Because yes, your health is going to be improving, your anxiety or whatever the ailment is probably going to be improving. What else does healing look like? You actually do get to move on, so listen. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for giving me the courage and willingness to take good care of myself, including surrounding myself with healthy relationships and positive situations. You're not going back to the end zone of where everything was. And then we have this, organic foods. So thank you for supporting my desire to consume and use organic products. You're going to be a very self-made person, only using the higher quality of, I think, situations in life. You know that you have an active choice of what you can actually involve in your life. And if it's something that is this continual drudging thing, you know that you don't have to take part of it. Your life and your choices can actually be made in a light heart. And that is not only going to be fuel for your soul, it's going to be fuel for your mind. So this is going to be a major sense of recovery. And I still feel like I have another card to pull out of here. Have faith, acceptance, and home health. Right now I feel like I got all the cards out that I need. You will be going through a sense of recovery. And recovery, I don't know if you've ever been through it, recovery from whatever your ailment is going to be a slow process. With everything else, it's one day at a time. And you want to know, you're still going to have your little blips of momentary fear, but it's recognizing that, hey, you're not in the cage. Hey, you did the work. Hey, you looked at the hurdle. Hey, you pulled the thread on whatever that toxic line was to you. So the acceptance is realizing that you are not going to be perfect and you have to be patient with yourself, and that you are going to need to ask for help because you wouldn't have done so in the past, and that you'll be okay with accepting said help. So this is actually really good. Hold on. I'm being pulled. I don't know to which deck. No. Nope. Is it this one over here? All right. Okay. So work your light oracle deck. What is this? Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? All right. So the process looks like stepping up and leading with what lights you up. Okay. So remember in the beginning of this, it was talking about how, you know, there's been this issue from the past coming up the hurdle. We just went into the whole spiel of it. So what is this going to lead to? You actually stepping into what lights you up, and that's going to be your light in the world. So how are you going to be the leader of that? You are definitely a leader. A leader isn't somebody who hides from their fears. They face them and with a sense of spitefulness, and that's called courage. Mirror. So you're going to have triggers along the way in your leadership. We're going to look at that for a moment. This is ancestral trauma and patterns that you are healing and rewriting. And you are creating a feeling of like heaven on earth. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits and soul tribe. And then we have this. What are you being pulled to do? Do something to change your energy. And then the final card from this deck is going to be divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realm. I lied, I just pulled another one and now I feel done. So the last one was don't dim your light to fit in. I know I say I want to pull one more card, but I still feel pulled to pull more. So what are you going to do? All right, you. It's the saying yes to this. What are you being pulled to do? A double mission, lifting up humanity. So you are being pulled into a very strong leader position. It's not dimming your light to be palatable to others. I don't care if you seem crazy. Let's see. What are you being pulled to do? What are you pulling together? For some of you, oh my God, I have loved this so much. Some of you are going to be meeting some people that you truly admire. I've met coaches, I've met business people, I've met everyone from all ends of the spectrum. I have a sneeze coming. It's stuck. It is so stuck. I'm going to sneeze mid-word. I know it. Okay. So I've met people from all walks of life. You know, we have coaches, we have stay at home, we have people who just don't want to work. We have, all right, that was not in comparison to stay at home parents. I'm not saying that at all. People who don't have to work, people who don't want to work, people who are, you know, taking lifelong ambitions and completely changing directions, people who are finally stepping into purpose. I've met people from every single walk of life. And you all know what? They are now being pulled into something that is their divine purpose. The thing is, they have to change their energy because they feel like their skeletons in their closet are going to become their undoing, when it's actually just a ghost and they don't have to be afraid of the skeleton. And also, the most unexpected companionships are coming into play because there are different little additives each individual person adds into whatever their life mission is. So it's getting out of this place of being quiet, dimming yourself, not making a scene. You are actually here to make quite the scene, especially if you've come across this video. So if something is triggering you, it's not just sitting there and taking that trigger, it's you standing up against it and telling it what the F is up. So it's actually gonna brighten your light, because when you face a nightmare, I don't know if you've ever practiced this, but when you face a nightmare, especially in the dream state, it has nothing to work with, it dissipates. And that is the same thing in waking life. When you face your nightmare, it has nothing to stand on because it didn't think that you would stand up. So now you learn to conquer that. And what is this all leading you towards? Okay. Final cards are going to be from here. Learning from these soul bonds that taught you the hardest lessons and showing, I hate saying this, I really do, showing you the gratitude from the pains of the past. And then it's going to show you deep insights on life. I do see you looking at it as like it's a sense of magic. And it's also going to get you to get rid of all the excess gunk that you hold on to in your life that's kind of hoard in your mind. So there's no shortcuts to it. There's no way you can cut corners. This is a healing process of empowerment, and it's because you're stepping into new life. So it hasn't taken shape yet, but you are going to find where you belong, not where you fit in, where you belong. Anything can fit in anywhere if you try hard enough. Where you belong is where your vibration is, and you are here to co-create. Okay, your individual storyline, again, is going to be more detailed, in-depth, and intense. So look at the description if you want to book a private session and see what services I provide, what's going to be, what time zones, availability, pricing, sales, discounts, all that jazz. I look forward to hearing from you. This has been the Daily Tarot and Oracle, the daily insight on life and love for April 8th, 2022. Again, being timeless. I hope this made sense. I hope that you found a sense of encouragement with this, and I really hope that you do face your fear in this. There's no shortcuts. The world needs you to show up. So I really want you to do that last hurdle. Okay, you stay safe, have fun. Know that you're greatly loved and appreciated. Bye for now. I feel like you've wasted enough time and energy trying to keep up appearances. I feel like it's always been a point of somebody making a horrible decision, what seems to be a personal business transaction. Somebody always got the short end of the stick, and it feels completely entitled to the other person, like they have to come out on top, somebody else has to suffer for them. That is stupid and it's unruly, and you're not going to be partaking in that anymore. You're not going to save face for somebody else. I don't care if this embarrasses them. This isn't your cross to carry at all. So there's some sort of secrets and shadow work that has to come up right now. The secrets, I think, are coming from the other person who wanted to have people, take the hit for them. But I see that the shadow work is going to be the people who allow this to happen, whether they felt like, okay, I'll just let this happen, I'll let it go, it'll get better this last time. No, we're not doing that anymore. You cutting through to this, you making a move is actually the best thing for you. So I see that you're probably getting rid of this person who threw you under the bus numerous times in your life, and it looks like you're taking on an entirely new direction, very healing. A lot of discipline is necessary because I feel like this is going to be playing on your heartstrings, and you have an amazing heart, and this person knows that. So this is, okay, you don't know if you can stay away from this person. I get it. You are going to be moving on to greener pastures, and I do see that you are going to reject any offering that you are giving. But the point is, You have to become the Queen of Swords, and also I see that you're probably going to need to keep yourself busy around them. I see you shutting down, and also I see somebody coming in to take care of you. It's a very nurturing energy. This might be you and actually practicing self-care, but I also see a friend who's going to be coming in to help you move on through this. I do see that you're going to be in an emotionally numb place for a little bit after probably not letting yourself be thrown under the bus for a little bit. I think that part of you, because the sun is in reverse, is going to be very sore from this break. You know that you have to move on. You feel good about the move on, but it's people that you don't necessarily feel good about. So there's major trust issues that are coming into play. I don't think that you're going to be playing this off with the person helping you, but for, I think, anybody who's moving forward. Now, this could be family, it could be friends, it could be lovers, it could be colleagues. You're putting a very firm line in the sand because of this person's hurt towards you. You just don't want to put yourself in that position again. And honestly, it feels like a bigger betrayal now that you're looking at it soberly and somebody else is helping you through this. It wasn't in your head. You deserve better. Trust your path. If you knew if you knew you'd be supported, what would you do? Birthing a new creations, dreaming a new world into being. The crumbling, what are you clinging on to? And then we have no, postpone, wait, say no. So this is talking about the crumbling not being done in your life. Then we have Mintaka, which is longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. So I feel like there's still one more in here. Okay, so apparently 3 more. We're done. Don't dim your light to fit in. How are you dimming your light to fit in? Divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realm. Dance with life. Do something new to change your energy. There's a crumbling that is trying to take place in your life and you're not letting it be facilitated. I think that you're fighting. I think that you're trying to cling on to some sense of normalcy, and spirit is just completely letting you down the entire way about it, not giving into what your immediate wants and needs and sense of needs of security with this. It's meant to crumble. You're bringing a new place into being, an ascended life into being. You can't bring in this low vibe crap that's trying to hang on to your ankles like an anchor. It's completely beneath you, but I understand the fear in letting it go. This is something that is so familiar to you and that has made you feel somewhat of a support, and it feels like there's a sense of guilt in you moving beyond this. What you're leaving behind isn't junk, it isn't garbage, but it isn't part of your vibration anymore. You are dimming yourself to keep this around you. It's not lighting itself up. It's not doing the work. It's not making any changes. And that's a major disrespect for you and what you have been putting yourself through. It has in no way, shape, or form been comfortable. It hasn't been easy in any stretch of the word. But the breakthroughs that you have been enduring, I have a guarantee you wouldn't change them for the world. There's no way you would want to unlearn the things that you have learned about yourself, the world around you, and what's possible. This person can't fathom that. They can't waken up to it, and they honestly don't even care to move beyond what it is that they do have, which again, this is fine. Everybody has their place. Everyone has their level which they want to go to. It's part of their soul contract. So understand that as for what it is and let the soul contract be living out the way that it needs to. So if you could do whatever you want, aside from bringing up this person that you want to bring up or the people that you want to bring up, because they're not doing the work, they don't want to do the work, they're fighting it tooth and nail. Again, focus on yourself for a minute. If you could make any changes in the world, in the life in which you live, knowing that you'd be supported, what would you do? It's time for you to be incredibly selfish with it and to really know the true authentic self and to strip away all sense of doubt. So if there's something that is creating a sense of curiosity, I want you to see what that's about. I want you to see where it's going. And if it's lighting up, I want you to follow it. And if it's not lighting you up, well, love yourself enough to let it go. So you're diving headfirst into this and you're not even sure if you want it. You're not holding anything back and you're not even sure if this is what you truly want. That's really brave of you. I think that this is going to be incredibly major for you, a major sense of self, a lot of, well, I keep saying major, so yeah. This is going to be a long-term effect on you. It's involving the Lovers card. It's also going to involve you learning how to be more pushy and also having your needs met in personal relationships. And it looks like you, my dear, have probably been feeling very excluded from love and relationships. Maybe you and your partner have been at odds with each other. Maybe there's been a little bit of pullback. Maybe it got to that accidental point where you feel taken for granted, or maybe you accidentally took somebody for granted. I'm not talking crap about you or them. This happens from time to time. It doesn't mean that anyone's evil. It just means that this crap happens and you have to put yourself back on the trail with them. So I do see that you did jump into this head first. You're experiencing some sense of, I don't know, it almost feels like rejection from them. You're in this for the long run. Okay, so since this is a relationship mini read, if it's toxic, abusive, or in any way, shape, or form illegal, I don't care what the cards say, get away from it. But if it's not any of those things, what I see is, yes, you're experiencing hardship. Yes, I also see that you're in this for the long haul, and you guys are going to reach a compromise. It's just, you guys are working through some really painful wounds of self-worth. This is something that you guys need to sit down and talk about, because you feel like the other person just doesn't care, and that you have to hold your tongue because you don't want to upset them. This is not a failure. This is a kink in the relationship that you guys got to work through. And I don't mean the good kind. So look, there might be this issue of feeling like your ego is just kind of hit by this. You guys are going to move on to a greener pasture, though it's a step backwards, but you guys are still going forward. I think that you guys are completely bewildered by each other, but you guys have to give up in the relationship and let it evolve the way that it needs to. I'm not telling you to give up on each other. I'm telling you to give up on keeping it in one particular direction that's stifling your guys' growth, and it's stifling you guys from actually making a bond together. I say guys, I'm saying it in the androgynous form right now. Guys, girls, I honestly do not care. But let's see. This, I see the willpower to get through it, and I see the lack of criticism coming through. It's constructive and it's compassionate for each other. So let's see. Final card for this. You guys aren't codependent, and you guys have all the hope being restored. Believe it or not, this is going to be a great discussion for you guys. All right, so I was pulled to postcards from Spirit, and I was pulled to 2 cards. So this is going to be a message from either your main guide or a loved one who's on the other side. But there's, if you find your way across this, there's a chance that you need to hear a message from them. So if you don't want to hear me gab, go ahead, pause and read. Hopefully you can read it. And if you care to listen, okay. Over here, there's no mystery for us to unravel, as we know intimately how connected we all are, how the web of creation works, and how spirit is in every aspect of life, from the invisible to the visible. But it's impossible for humans to comprehend the complexities of how things actually work, because most important threads in the tapestry don't make sense in the dimension that you live in. That said, can you feel the importance of these currents of energy that bring events together in miraculous ways? You can't understand with your mind, but you can know with your heart and soul. Trust that even though you don't know how, the what, or the why, we do. Surrender to the mystery and have faith that the unseen world is watching you with loving eyes as spirit weaves life's mysterious and beautiful tapestry in glorious technicolor. So it's really coming together for you right now. Here on the other side, we have one important thing to declare. Love is the answer to literally everything. We don't necessarily mean romantic or erotic love, although they are wonderful, but something above and beyond that. Everything alive in the world was first created by love. Spirit sends loves to animate life and to birth it into existence. Love is without conditions. It's based in reverence and a fierce and joyful respect for life. Love thrives when you focus on it, and we want you to turn away from anything that causes it to wane. Love is when you no longer see yourself as other, separate from, or better, less than, etc. When you act as love, you give permission for the world to thrive and grow in it as well. Can you let go of what is not love and ask, what will love do? Love is waiting for you always and forever, and we just adore you over here. Love, Spirit. So what this is really talking about is there's something completely out of left field that is actually being birthed into creation. It is a thought, it is a concept, and it is a desire. Whether it's seen as a positive or a negative light, if something is being focused on, then it's because it is somewhat of a desire of creation. It wants to have its own existence. So that's why it's telling you be very selective about what you're putting your focus on. If something is pulling you away from love and light and life and it's putting you in that dark zone, let it go so it doesn't become you. All right, so you've probably been experiencing some really funky body issues going on right now, from either body aches or the sweats or exhaustion or complete hyper. Whatever it is, it's being done in extremes right now. So why the hecking heck is this happening? Sorry about my language. No, I'm just kidding. It's funny. Anyway, look. You, your body, your home, your house, everything about your existence is being cleared out. So what I'm seeing here is that purge that you are feeling is very physical. And instead of completely shutting down, Spirit's wanting you to move through it in the most ginger way possible. It doesn't want you to break yourself. This isn't a time to go hard. This is a time to gently nudge yourself through this. So pay attention to the way that your body is feeling, and pay attention to what emotions are coming up as you are feeling this in your body. It's trying to give you a message. Some of these awesome indicators are the right side being about forward, masculine energies, momentum, authority. The feminine is about care, compassion, worthiness, and it's also dealing with issues of the past. So the different areas of the body, even after that, even with the chakras, these are all things to be considered. But I know that what you are feeling is almost like pulsating in the entire body. It's going to help if you can move your way through this, whichever degree that you can. And again, not a time to push yourself to the brink of craziness with this. So I'm still being pulled to healing, Archangel Raphael Healing Oracle. What does this want to tell you? All right. Believe it or not, rest and recovery is going to be happening in your sleep. This is not a time to pollute your body with an over sense of toxins. Now, I can't tell you not to drink coffee. I can't tell you what to eat or drink. I can't tell you to do anything. But this is telling you to try to eliminate as many toxins from your body as possible, obviously in a safe manner. If you're on prescription drugs, you talk to your doctor. You don't listen to me on that one. I'm not a doctor. But yes, this is talking about having a clear and sound mind and body. And this, getting away from things that overstimulate you. This isn't going to cause you to fall flat on your face. It's actually going to give you a major sense of rebirth and renewal and purity. And also, I want you to keep up on taking care of your body. You are going through a very physical ascension process. So I can actually feel your body pulsating with this. I can feel the entire digestive tract almost feel like it's on fire. And pay attention to what your body is craving and also what it's trying to pulsate out of itself. And also, if something's really, really, really terribly wrong with you, go to the doctors very clearly, but looks good. All right, so you're taking this grand leap into this, okay, some major life changes, flipping awesome. You don't know if this is what you want, and this actually showed up in another mini read, but it's gonna be something that absolutely helps you move on from the past. I see that you have many doors opening up for you, and ultimately this is exactly what you want. You feel it in your gut and you feel it in your body, and you have the willpower to get through the funkiness of it. The point is, it's a long-term investment. Normally, it seems like you would probably go for some form of instant gratification if it were a relationship, or if it were, I really just want to say relationship. So this feels like that impulsive, love at first sight, let's do the leap on this. And I'm not really saying that that's, the best idea on the planet, but I see that you did a generous leap into something that was the unknown. No, you weren't necessarily wrong, but yes, you got to work out your own personal kinks with this. So this is bringing up past issues, and this is feeling like you have the willpower to walk through these gray areas with this particular person. I see it being a victory. I see that you guys keeping an eye on each other. I see that you guys actually really idolize and respect each other. I see that this person empowers you, they encourage you, and they honestly want what's best. I see that you guys are mutually invested in this. You guys are mutual teachers to each other, and you guys have even the same worries. You guys don't know if this is truly what you want, but damn, is it inspiring. So this is a very healing relationship that's helping you move on from your past. You both have many doors opening up for you. This is absolutely a divine connection. And I do see that this is having all the gears in motions. Your life is absolutely getting into a flow state. I see a deeper commitment coming into place. I see you guys being, you know, two peas in a pod. Now, with every relationship reading, I don't care what the cards say. If it's toxic, if it's abusive, if it's illegal, get the heck away from it. I'm not seeing that in any of this, but I still will give you a disclaimer because I don't want to see you hurt and I don't want to see anybody else hurt. So this, it feels like getting out of the mindset of self-criticism or projections, and it looks like mental clarity, let's see, getting rid of worry. I think that you're really learning to get rid of worry. Paying attention to details, and also I think this actually might go with the purging that's going on with the body. This is an all around. Okay, watch the other mini reads in this group of readings. Okay, so you guys are learning self-control over yourself and not control over others. This is truly healing and it's truly freeing. I love this, love. This is great.